to manage this. To be able to manage this. All right? Because if you are too anxious or nervous, you won't perform at your best. You won't be able to think of the vocabulary you need. You will forget the structure you need. Okay, everyone, concentrate, please. Okay? No more talking or passing things around while I'm talking. Okay, these are some of the things that make students anxious, all right, which I'm sure you already know. Some students feel they haven't done enough preparation, okay, all right. Some people feel that they need to get a certain score. Okay, that makes people anxious. If they want to get a 7 or 8, for example, they get very worried. Some people think that their parents or their family will be unhappy if they don't get a certain score. These are all the things that make you a bit anxious. But actually, having a little bit of anxiety, which is the noun, is good, okay? Because it can help you focus. It can help motivate you to do better. So having a little bit of stress, a little bit of anxiety is good. Helps make you study a bit harder. So if you're feeling a little bit anxious, like I say, perfectly normal, and that's fine because it can help motivate you to get a better score. All right. So I will go very quickly to ways to help you manage your anxiety, because this is the important part. So point number 1, all right. You need to be familiar with the format of the test, which is something that I've mentioned to you many times, and you should all be very familiar with how the test works and how the structures work. So you all know that writing task 1, for example, you have how many minutes to do writing task 1? 20 minutes. Yeah, 20 minutes to do writing task 1. How many minutes to do writing task 2? 40 minutes, okay? So you all know how the test works, all right? So that's the first thing, to help you reduce your anxiety, to know exactly how the test works. When you go into the exam room, you know the examiner is going to introduce themselves, okay? You know the examiner is going to ask you some short questions about yourself. So as long as you know what the process is, what the procedure is, this can help reduce your anxiety. It's when things are unfamiliar or you're not sure what's going to happen that you have the problem. All right. So the next thing is to remember your strategies. So you, in the exercise we've just looked at, the process diagram or the details, okay, you know your strategy is to use POT, okay, for any task 1 question. You know your strategy for the details or process is to tell the story. Okay, you know that's what you're going to have to do. You know you're going to have to write how many paragraphs, not 2, for task 1. Writing task 1, how many paragraphs? 4 paragraphs, okay? So you know that. So again, you just need to remind yourself, be familiar with the structures. Okay. All right. When you do a practice test, okay, when you do a practice test, you need to look at these things, okay? Instead of saying something like, oh, that was terrible, I can't do this at all, look at, first of all, 1, the things that you need to do to improve, okay? Don't beat yourself up and say, oh, no, I'm terrible at this. I'm not going to get a good score. Just focus instead on looking at 1 or 2 things that you need to improve and work on them. Then you move on to the next things that you need to improve. But it's important too, and that's why Mrs. Ha and I keep giving you the practice tests every month or so, okay, to get used to taking the test. All right. And then if you feel you did badly at the test, or you look at my comments and you think, okay, this is what I need to improve, just work on 1 or 2 things at a time. Okay. And the most important thing, I think, for doing any test, not just the IELTS, is don't focus on what is the end result. Okay, I'll explain a little bit more about this. For example, if you think, oh, I really need to get a 7 because I want to get into this school or this university, I must get a 7. Okay, and that makes you more anxious because you think, what if I don't get a 7? I can't do this course. I can't go to this school. Okay, forget about that because that just makes you anxious. You focus on, I'll write this down, the process, not two. Okay, you focus on the process of how to get there, not to. I'm just using you as an example. If you, for example, are going to take a penalty in soccer, okay, you don't think, when I played football, this is what I thought, you don't think about if I get this goal, it's going to win the game, fantastic. But if I don't get this goal, we're going to lose the game, okay, because that is too much pressure. What you do, you focus on the process. Okay, so for example, taking a penalty, okay, you get the ball, okay, you put it on the spot, okay, you know what you are going to do to take the penalty. You think in your mind, okay, I'm going to focus on the ball, okay, I'm going to take 3 or 4 steps back, okay, decide, then I'm going to do my usual run up, and I am going to put the ball in this part of the net. Okay, so you are not thinking about what is going to happen after all that, like I'm going to win the game, I'm going to lose the game. Okay, all you're doing is focusing. Yeah, focus on the present. Okay, the things that you need to do right then to make something happen. I was talking to you a little bit about this the other night, I know, Charlie. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is don't focus on the result. All right, focus on the processes that you need to make something happen. An example about this that is not about football, all right, is the structure of writing task 2 essays. All right, when you get a writing task 2 topic, you don't look at it and you think, oh my God, I don't know anything about this, I'm not going to get my 7. Okay, forget about that, focus on the structure. So, for example, writing task 2, the first thing you look at, of course, is what type of essay is this? How many different types of essays are there? How many? There are 5. There are 5 different types of essays. Okay, so the first thing you just go through your processes one stage at a time. Okay, there are 5 different types of task 2 essays. Okay, what type of essay is this? Okay, now I know what type of essay this is. It's an opinion, it's an advantage, disadvantage, it's a discussion, whatever. Okay, what is the structure for this essay? The first paragraph, the first sentence is always a paragraph. Okay, the next sentences is always going to be a summary of your main points. Your main body paragraph in an advantage, disadvantage essay is going to be the first main body paragraph is going to be about disadvantage. Okay? Second main body paragraph is going to be about not hard. And an advantage, disadvantage essay. If your first paragraph is going to be about disadvantage, what is the second paragraph? Yes, correct. Okay, so you are following the process. So you follow the processes that we practice in these classes. In a way, not to. This is just a bit like a sports practice. Okay, we are learning the different steps. Okay, so one way, like I say, of making you feel less anxious is to forget about the end result. Just go through each step that is practice. Okay, and then once you go through each step, we practice, suddenly the essay is finished. Okay, and you're done. Okay, so that is the way to help reduce your anxiety. Just focus on the steps or the stages on the processes that we practice in these classes. Speaking task 2. Okay, sorry, speaking part 2. Okay, you have 1 minute to prepare. I've told you in previous lessons to try and focus on some experience. So straight away when you see a topic or part 2 speaking, okay, straight away you're trying to think of what experience can I bring to this? And you talk about the experience. Okay, and before you know it, 2 minutes is going past. Okay? So you are not focusing on the fact that, oh, I have to talk for 2 minutes and I have to talk really well to get a band 7. You know, just focusing on what experience do I need to think about, how am I going to talk about this experience that connects to this topic. Does that make sense to everyone? Yes. Okay, good. So this is just how to reduce your anxiety. Very hard to make anxiety go away, filter it, or stress. And in fact, like I say, you don't want to, because you need some anxiety or some stress to motivate you to perform. Okay, but of course, you don't need too much. So just trust and practice your process. Once you know all the processes, you just work through all the processes, and the result will take care of itself. Does this make sense to everyone? I hope this helps. Yeah. And this is not just for IELTS, this is for any test, like your maths test, your physics test, your chemistry test, your Vietnamese literature, whatever. Focus on the processes that you have practiced. Don't worry about the result. The result will, like I say, look after itself at the end. Okay, so now we're going to do some speaking for the next 30 minutes. And we're going to do it by, first of all, looking at this video. What we're going to look at is a little bit of word formation. All right. Why this is important, because the more you know about how words are formed, I know this might seem like I'm going back to basics for some of you, but it's important to remember this. The more you know about how words are formed, then it will help you improve your vocabulary, or will help you recognize words when you are doing the reading test or the listening test and you are not sure what a word means. If you know how words are formed, it can help you guess the meaning of words. Okay, much more easily than if you don't know how the words are formed. So I'm going to go on now with this video, and we will do some practice as we go. Okay.
Would you like to improve your vocabulary while learning negative prefixes in English? Today, we are going to discuss more negative prefixes and how to use them in order to expand our vocabulary and why not.
Okay, so she is Spanish, by the way. Her accent is Spanish, which I know is maybe a little bit hard for you to understand. So I will help translate for you. So we're learning 4 negative prefixes. Okay, 4 negative prefixes. How to make words that are positive into negative. All right.
It is a important step in front of words to change their meanings in English. For example, correct, incorrect. To take the letters I and put them in front of the word correct, I get a new word, and this new word is incorrect. Incorrect means that it is not correct. And is a negative prefix that means no or not.
Okay, IN, she's talking about, is a negative prefix that means, what did she say? No or not, okay? IN. So whenever you see IN in front of a word, you know it means no or not, is what she is saying.
We're going to look at today is IN. It goes in front of word that starts with the letter N. I think we don't know. Words are used to express that something is impossible or almost impossible to be because of being there not tiny or not big.
Okay, anyone tell me the answer to this question?
Illegible.
Illegible, correct. illegible. Okay, so IL is the first prefix we are looking at. IL is a negative prefix. Okay, if you have it in front of something, okay, it makes the word into a negative. Okay, so something that is impossible to read because it is untidy or not clear is what? What is the word? Illegible. Illegible. Okay, something that is illegible. Okay, it starts with the letters IL. Ah, go away.
Immature, immature, possible, impossible. What challenge? What word would you use to express that something is not perfect?
Okay, not asking Bao Ming this time. Ladies, what is the word? Imperfect. Thank you. Imperfect. Okay, something that is not perfect. So okay, is a negative, is negative prefix. Sorry, negative prefix. You see the word in front of something, okay? It means the opposite. Okay, gentlemen, what is the word? Not you. You know, I know. Okay, which word do you use to describe the action of not thinking enough or not worrying about the possible results of what you do? Kian? Irresponsible. Irresponsible, thank you. Irresponsible. Again, IR makes responsible into a negative. Irresponsible. Incorrect. Okay.
About the ring are those who know a lot about words. I mean, they know more about the multiple meanings, rules. This might expand their vocabulary, which helps them when they encounter a new word, doing meanings. Since we have their effect, inadequate or illegal, impolite, immoral, immature, impossible, irrelevant, irregular, inexpensive, invisible, incomplete.
Okay, everyone. So, quick speaking practice now. I want you to pick one of these words, okay, any one of these words, and give me a sentence. Okay, I'm going to go around each of you. So, any one of these words, all right, and put it in a sentence. All right, you have 10 seconds to think about this. All right, now we're going to start with
the story that my friend is talking about is not is emerging about our plan.
Can you say that again, please? Yeah. Going to stand over here. I want you to remember. I want you to speak up too. Okay. No, you can say it. I'm standing. I just want you to speak.
The story my friend is talking about is irrelevant about our problem.
Is irrelevant
to our public.
Okay, the story my friend is talking about is irrelevant to my problem, which means it's not connected. Good. Okay.
Children who are immature should not be encouraged to use smart devices.
Children who are immature should not be encouraged to use their smart devices too much. Okay, for me.
Fostering the storage, the academic food, because it is really expensive and
Good. Excellent.
this will be impolite to smoke in the hospital.
It would be impolite to smoke in the hospital. Okay.
It's critical to devices it's illegal to fly over 100,000.
It's illegal to ride a motorcycle without a helmet too.
No, please don't call me. My rank class 2 is incomplete.
My
Writing.
writing class is incomplete.
Meaning the plate from England by is because
Can you say it again more clearly?
meaning the current year. Event by Google is because
Winning the
current year. Current event.
coding of it. Coding.
Coding.
Coding. Winning the coding of things.
By
Over the possible. Okay. Hang on.
It is still durable tricks.
Okay. Can you do it now that it's started?
The gangster durable tricks. Period.
The gangster made many illegal
Tricks.
trades. Yeah, the gangster made many illegal trades of heroin.
theory.
Oh, heroin. 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 Good. Okay, one more time, please. So all your promising issues. Sure. Illegal. Have to make it easier. Okay. John Wheat.
It's impossible for me to run
Okay. Here are.
theory about the world that is
The theory about the world being flat is illogical. Good. That's all. You say the same thing with this, it is impolite. Okay. Pens and paper are expensive. Maybe you have to use the negative one. Inexpensive. Pens and paper are inexpensive. Okay. What is the word you use? Irrelevant. 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 It is irrelevant to jump out of a plane without a parachute. It's not correct. Okay. Irrelevance doesn't mean that. You would have to say it is. Not impossible. You could jump out of a plane without a parachute. Not impossible. You wouldn't live, but it's not impossible. Okay. Irrelevant means it's something that is not connected to the topic you are talking about. Can you choose another one? Yeah, it is illogical. Maybe you jumped out of a plane without a parachute. Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Don't
Okay, everyone, please pay attention to this. Immoral. What does immoral mean?
Opposite meaning with moral.
Can anyone tell me what immoral means in English? Not sure? Gentlemen,
It's called positive meaning with moral.
it means,
Not formal.
sorry, not
Not formal.
not formal. No, immoral is not quite right. Moral behavior is behavior, okay, that is good according to the standards of your culture. Okay, so for example, Vietnamese culture is quite conservative. So you could say maybe it is immoral, all right, to take drugs, for example. It's also illegal, okay, but also immoral, because immoral is against the standards of the culture. What is the difference between Fung Ni, can you please put your phone down? No phones, otherwise I will give it to Mrs. Ha. Okay, no phones in class, please. Kak Zong, no phones. Okay, so the difference between immoral and illegal, can anyone tell me that? Like I talked before, I used an example, drugs, okay? Drugs in Vietnam is immoral and illegal. What is the difference though between those two things? Why do I need to use both words? Correct. Yes. Immoral belongs to the culture. Okay, so yeah, so you're right. So taking drugs is illegal, of course, because it's against the law, but it's also immoral because it's against what your parents tell you, what society, Vietnamese society, what most society, of course, tell you. So something that is immoral, okay, is against the culture. Okay, to think that something is good value just because it is inexpensive. Okay. Okay, can anyone give me a synonym for illogical? A synonym for illogical? Nonsense. Yeah, nonsense.
Silly.
Silly, yeah. Logical is a substitute just for something like good sense or common sense. Okay, so it is against your good sense or against common sense to think that something, okay, is good value just because it is cheap. Okay, we all know that. Okay. Okay, everyone answer this question, please. Again, the speaking question. What would you do if you were invisible for a day? What would you do if you were invisible for a day? I'll start here this time. If you were, okay, I want to hear a proper English sentence. If I was invisible for a day, please start your sentences like this, okay? If I was visible for a day. Does that make sense? Not sure it's good English, but I'm not sure if the reason makes sense. If I was invisible for a day, I would stay inside and wait for my family to help me with their activities.
There's no way. Yeah.
Okay, but the English made sense. Okay, that's fine. Not too. If I was. I would. Okay, that is immoral and illegal. Okay, Kakzon, but the English is correct. Kakzon. Okay. Okay. Good idea, Kakzon. Okay, Michael. Well, that's a good question. Maybe you couldn't. Okay, you're invisible. You can't see anything. Okay, but the English is correct. Okay, remember, I don't care about your answers. I want to hear the correct thing. Okay, if I was. Okay, good. Shall we? That's probably also environment. Okay, okay, it's a very small thing. Okay. If I was invisible for a day, I would.
You saw one day and
Yeah.
no, if I was invisible for a day, I will come to the house of people that I hate and play something. Yeah, you know.
I would go to the house. I would go to the house of people that I
And
hate
they will know
and
they show
play some trick on
them.
them. Correct. Okay. The moral too. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
If I was invisible for a day. Okay. When we phrase that slightly so the English is correct? If I was invisible today, I would go somewhere expensive and to do what? Okay, you should be able to do this by now. Okay.
If I was visible today, I would go to places that need to place that I cannot go and display all things there.
That's a good idea. Yeah. If I was invisible for a day, I would go to places that have age limits.
Places.
I'll go to places that have age limits. Okay. And do the things that they do there. Okay, that's good.
If I was invisible for a day, I would go to the cinema and restaurant without paying for it.
Good.
If I was invisible for a day, I would go to some grocery store and purchase things that I have never purchased before.
Okay, you wouldn't need to purchase them. You would just say, I would take them. Okay. Done.
If I was invisible for a day, I would go to a place to play game.
Right, very good. Okay, so remember what I'm hearing is the correct English. Okay, and the last thing we will do, I see you packing up already, we will do one last speaking exercise, okay, because I'm face to face. This is a chance for me to all check your speaking at once. I will start with you, okay, darling, you won't have much time to think about this. If you had a superpower, okay, which one would you choose? Okay, so superpowers can be, we just discussed invisibility, okay, power to fly, okay, power to travel through time, okay, which one would you choose and why? Okay, you could choose one of those three or think of another one. Okay, but they are three superpowers, okay? One is to be invisible, okay? This is the last thing, before we get to it, this is the last thing we do. Okay, so choose one of these three superpowers or another one, tell me why. Invisibility, I should say, sorry. Okay, being able to fly, okay, or travel through time. Travel through, go backwards or forwards, go into the past or into the future. What would you choose and why? Okay, one sentence. Garlic.
If I would choose a superpower, I will choose power to fly because it's help me to fly quicker to my speed.
Okay, help me to fly more quickly. More quickly. Good, Chami.
And I can turn around work without getting charged when I don't want to.
Okay, good English.
Do the practice and go back to the class and correct my mistake.
Okay, good. Good English. Good.
Because it's not only helping to fix my mistake past, but it's also helping me to see the future if I make the right decision.
Okay, good. Jim, good English.
All I will choose that person I really want to do.
I don't want to wait for the traffic. Okay? I don't want to wait for the traffic, or I don't want to be stuck in the traffic jam. And either one of those is correct. Tia. If I had a superpower, I would choose.
If I have superpower, I would choose the power to travel through times because I can come back to the past and remake the things that make me regret up to now.
Okay, I would go back to the past. Okay, remember if you are going to a place, you always use the word go. So like go back to the past. Okay, remember to when you are here, you use the word. What is the opposite of go?
Back.
No. You go. What is the opposite? Come. Come. Okay. You come here. You go there. Okay. I noticed that is a very common mistake with your English. Okay. You go to school. You come to class. Okay. If I had a superpower, I would. Because
I want to realize
okay, I want to correct my mistakes. Good. Move on.
Next. Choose teleporting. Yes. I think it's really interesting to change my at time and then teleport to the place in the.
Okay, good. Did you hear what she said? She said teleporting. Teleporting means being able to move from one place to another instantly. Okay, don't need to fly even. You can go straight from here to Ho Chi Minh or wherever. Okay, shall we? If I had a superpower,
I
Viet An. Okay, I can go back to the past. Okay, good. The rest is correct. Dominic.
The only simple that if I have a chance is only science. Because if I own the knowledge of the whole universe, maybe parallel, then I can do anything, create any superpowers that I want.
Okay, good answer. Thanks.
Because if I have this superpower, I know what they are thinking. I can change my talk or my action.
Okay, very good idea. So the correct English would be, I would choose mind reading. Mind reading is the way to say that. Okay, instead of choose what other people are thinking, you say, I would choose mind reading, because then I could see what other people were thinking. Very dangerous, maybe. I think. Doctor.
Our,
The power of
know everything I want, because when I know everything I want, so I can really to make money, and nobody can beat me in the school or
Sure. Okay, so the correct English would be, I would choose the power of knowing everything. Is the way to say it. I would choose the power of knowing everything. Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. That's the end of the class for today. It was very lovely to see you all again. Okay, so I'm going back to New Zealand tomorrow. So our next lesson, this is half. So we will continue lessons throughout June. Okay.